Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day, where we're covering Adventure Comics 176, Superboy's New Parents. A story I like. I know, I'm scared too. It does happen every now and then. This one just has really good setup and payoff, though we still have some repetitive nature to it. I will say we are getting into the silly goofiness of the Silver Age a tiny bit. We're still in the early 50s. Silver Age doesn't really technically start until 1956, but we get more into there. Especially like when you look at the cover of this is a comic where Superboy is for some reason just eating a bunch of food. That old classic happened more in the Silver Age. Like, why is Superboy doing something crazy in the cover of this comic? This one's not as outrageous as some of the other ones that are coming, and I can't wait for those. I need these Golden Age stories to stop. I need a satisfying ending, please. This one actually does have a satisfying ending. So, a reporter trying to find out who Superboy really is thinks he's got him by forcing him into court. You see, Superboy is a minor. And because of that, well, he needs parents. And Superboy technically doesn't have parents, though he could have just told them that he does. His secret identity has parents. Everyone assumes he has a secret identity, but that doesn't quite work. And the judge has to put him at a home or give him to a family as an adoption. And a family immediately jumps up and says they want to adopt them. And seeing there seems to be a lack of regulations here, they just let whatever family immediately jumps up and says they want the kid without any due diligence about who these people are. Now, I was curious to see where this was going. See, this is a story in the 1950s. This is the era of conformity. This is an era, especially as we get closer to 1954, where Superman and comics and the culture at large doesn't want to criticize authority figures like the government or your family as being bad in any way. They want you to, conform, not really have much of an identity for yourself. You're supposed to listen to whatever your parents say, no matter what they say, no matter what that might be, even if it's negative to your own health. But this is a story that gets into that, though I don't think that was necessarily what they meant from it. Hey, doesn't matter. It's what I read into it. So they're awful people who are only using Superboy for their own gain, like building them a mansion, or the mansion's the only thing that actually works out for them. Like, one of them owns a rival store to Jonathan Kent and tries to have him do like a big sales thing, only for Superboy to have it backfire on him, because you can tell Superboy to do something. You can't quite control if he's going to do it the right way. He will listen. Like, he doesn't have to do what the judge tells him to do. No one can make Superboy do anything if it really came down to it. But he is a good character, and we're still trying to get across those good qualities of a kid in the 1950s. He's making an example, but still some mischief in there that I really like, and I think is a good lesson to learn from a child. Sometimes authority and your parents don't have the best in mind for you. So how does Superboy end up solving this problem with the parents? Well, he becomes a massive pill. Wonderful. So yeah, he makes their lives a living hell by basically eating them out of house and home, even though he can build them more houses and make them more money. He makes sure that everything will backfire on them, stuffing his face. That's like the main thing that happens, but he does find other ways to be annoying, like singing in the bathtub so loudly no one can relax, until the parents just finally like, we don't want him anymore. We are losing money on this deal. Because of course they are. You can't control the godchild. So then we get the final climax of like, wait, this doesn't solve the minor problem. And basically Superboy just comes back at it with, how do you know I'm a minor? You have no records on me. And I tried to look up how this was resolved, say, pre-1950 or early on, and I couldn't really find anything. We do have some tests and genetic knowledge, which is flawed. There was a recent story about a kid whose adopted parents really messed up, really did awful things to her by saying she was actually an adult when they adopted her, which ended up not being true. So there are flaws. So like I said, this isn't foolproof evidence. They claim, or at least someone in the court claims, that all they have to do is prove his strength and intelligence to being an adult, which is perfectly easy for him. This is a dude who's graduated high school twice now, and he is stronger than everybody else on the planet, especially the fact that there is no real continuity and connection between all the DC characters. So even if there was a character who was stronger than him, there's no evidence that they exist currently on the same Earth. So yeah, he is an adult. He has graduated high school twice, which should have been enough evidence that he should be an adult, not a minor. And the courts have ruled he is an adult. I can't wait to see them forget about this and do another story where, or just not care and just do another story where he is a minor who has to prove himself. Or I just feel like he could have gotten away with not having to prove who his parents were. We know he has a secret identity. But hey, it is fun to watch him make some awful people's life misery. And it didn't have to like throw in some criminals randomly for him to stop. You just set up a problem with some awful people and just let him go to town with him being himself. Okay, that is it from Adventure Comics 176. Superboy's new parents. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications when a new video goes up. I do this Monday through Friday, but Fridays is Bat Friday, where I cover Batman story, either Detective Comics or Batman. And until next time, let's ponder the question: whatever did happen to the boy of tomorrow? And is Superboy even an American citizen? What's habeas corpus stance on the alien godchild? Okay, have a great day.